Waterholes Wildlife Sanctuary is completely volunteer run, and the team are available 24/7 to support any of the precious wildlife on the island and surrounding areas. I'm about to chat with two volunteers, Jodie Sutherland and Susan Crosby, to find out what a day in the life of a rescuer is like.
Yeah, so Susie will call either Jodie or me or both of us, and we will go out with a crate, and usually the koala will be sitting on the ground, but there's no guarantee that the koala will be sedate and
cooperative.
Cooperative. So you have had cases where they've been quite, they might be ill, but they're still very feisty. So,
don't necessarily know what's good for them.
No, they don't, and that's why nobody should ever attempt to touch a koala or pick a koala up if it's on the ground if you're not qualified, because it's quite a specialised technique. So we will come in and usually we'll pop a towel over their head, makes them a little bit more sedate and easier to sort of handle. A special way of carrying them, picking them up and just popping them into the crate and putting in some gum leaves so that they have some sort of feel of being in the bush still, even though they're not. And then we close them up and Susie will come and take it to be assessed at the vet or back to her shelter for care.
And you're on call all the time? Do you have any downtime, weekends off?
No
evenings
downtime.
off?
24/7.
24/7?
Yeah. And often, we'll have having people and crew that we can call on and rescue. Yeah, it means that if someone's not available, we've always got backup people.
That's
and everyone
right.
comes in to support.
Yeah.
So it works really well.
Seems like a lot of people are really focused on the koalas and they don't actually look at, what are the koalas eating and how are they actually sustaining themselves. So do you do work around the area to maintain the trees?
There's a lot of tree planting that we do. Me personally, on my property, I have 6 acres, so I'm always planting manna gum trees, which is the trees that they love to eat. And there's a lot of other people on the island who are doing the same thing, which is wonderful. But it's just about habitat and really try and preserve the trees that are already here, because as you can imagine, a little tiny tree this big will take years and years and years before it's able to sustain koalas. So try and preserve what we have and plant for the future.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, because the tree planting that is done is fantastic, but that's a very long-term strategy, and it's hard to plan for succession in forests as well, because you can have a natural event that knocks out trees, and so you need to then maintain and retain all your original trees and allow those processes to continue, like the bush regeneration process as well.
That's right.
But the urban trees and the trees in the residential zone are critical for koala survival on Raymond Island. And it's about going back to those old ideas about being a custodian, and because a tree might be within your defined property and that you own that tree has a greater life outside of that, and it has the community that attaches value to that tree. So to be aware of that and to pass that tree on to future generations.
Yeah, to be a custodian of land instead of thinking that you now own that tree. And
exactly.
Because I'm sure the koalas don't really care.
No, they don't see
about
boundaries.
property.
No, they don't register any property boundary at all.
It's just incredible to think that there are people out there who are constantly looking out for the wildlife and doing it on a volunteer basis over such a long period of time. I think is really, really admirable, and very, very grateful that people like you exist.
That's lovely.
It's such a labour of love as well.
It's super rewarding,
It is.
When you can get some good outcomes and and have some little wins along the way. They can be hard fought, but they're really good when you get them.
It's really exciting hearing about the work you do, and wish you all the best.